Good morning. How are you today?
Good, you?
Good, thank you. Welcome to Introduction to Psychology. So today we are going to keep talking about this chapter, chapter 8. We've been talking about motivation and emotion. So half of the information, we've been talking about motivation. And from now on, we are talking more about emotion. But before we go to emotion, we kind of stop here. We watched a TED Talk about growth mindset and grit. So grit is passion and perseverance. So whenever you set a certain goal, sometimes you cannot achieve quickly. There are some, trial and error, and also you make a mistake and you didn't do well. But continuously, if you could work and finally maybe you get those final prize, like maybe achievement can be there over there. So those are grit theory and also mastery goal. So mastery goal versus performance goal. Sounds both are really good, master and perform well, right? But mastery goal is more emphasizing process. So we are kind of keep going, even though you fail and maybe you didn't do well, maybe certain time, but still going toward your goal. But performance goal is a little different. Oh, just like taking this introduction to psychology, and that's all. So after this, maybe taking class, you do not maybe even think about psychology and learning about other people and behavior. It's done, just a done deal. So if you're focusing on only result and keep moving on, those are more focusing on performance goal. So when you kind of set up the performance goal, sometimes, I didn't do well this class or maybe exam, I will not maybe study that direction anymore, just kind of give up quickly. But mastery goal is those people who enjoy those process. So even though maybe the grade is not that maybe good, maybe got a C, overall general grade, but still I'm interested about psychology, I'm willing to learn more. So it's a little different, mastery goal oriented versus performance goal oriented. Those are terminology, but sounds like mastery and performance both are good, sounds good, right? But remember in that way, mastery goals versus performance goal. So we've been talking about Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Many of you may heard about those hierarchy of needs. We've been talking about chapter 1. I know Daniel's favorite dish. Is it still goulash or maybe different dish?
Goulash.
Goulash? Okay. So let's go with the goulash. Here, we are hungry, and whenever you feel hunger and maybe thirsty, we really need to quench our desire, right? Those are really biological needs. Thinking about that, I know you want to pursue your goal. You want to maybe become a teacher and doctor. You have your own career goal too. But even before that, if you cannot have any food, what's the worth of those kind of going further and further? So Maslow's try to hierarchically try to put the maybe basic needs, physiological need first. So when you accomplish those physiological needs, maybe next level, and then go further and further and further. So just an example. So physiological need, we are so hungry, we don't have much food, but somebody promised us maybe you will have a goulash every day, morning, lunch, and dinner, which is really happy and give us like a satisfaction. Yeah. So we could eat those meal morning, lunch, and dinner. So hunger and thirst and sleep. Yeah, we could sleep and eating those, and maybe those are sexual relationship. Part of biological need. Maybe that can be maybe part of your biological need too. So when you satisfy those biological need, next level will be maybe you wanna wish you could eat your food more like a safe environment. Maybe not on the rainy and stormy and those thunderstorming day. You wanna have some little house, at least like some your place, right? So those are safety. Are you really aware and do care about safety, Daniel, or maybe not really? For me, safety is like number one always. So whenever I try to go somewhere else, like maybe go camping, maybe go some different place, I think about, is it like a safe area? Maybe do I need to prepare for those? So do you feel like a safety is kind of, priority for
I was
you?
like that in the military too. They tell you to do something, I ain't doing it unless I got the proper stuff to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So because you know the consequences, possible
Yeah, no
danger
point in
and
risking yourself
consequences.
for something that's
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yes, yes. So, so safety can be our next those needs. So after we feel those biological need, those are really essential need, by the way, right? And the next one is a safety. We want to live at least a little small house, so feel like a safe, protect from the environment, right? And the next level will be belongingness and love. If you have those, your favorite dish every day, morning and lunch and dinner, that's really good. But probably you feel really bored and maybe I need to have some company. It doesn't matter boyfriend and girlfriend, just I want to have one more person to share my goulash. Yeah, it will be more fun, right? So the next level will be belongingness and love. So keep thinking about we need a food to live in this world, but more like a safe environment, feeling good, like a safe. After that, you really want to find some, like another human being, like a belongingness, belong to somebody else and love each other. And the next one is self-esteem. So you have your body and sharing your favorite food, goulash, but maybe you may wish I want to work somewhere else. So maybe somebody can recognize me and helping maybe I'm a worth person and you may regard you maybe valuable person. Those are self-esteem. So goulash is originally I believe Hungarian food. So in a Tulsa area there is very nice Hungarian restaurant and the owner is hiring people. And since you really like goulash and used to have those goulash for a long time, you are now expert to make those dish. And then you applied for the job, and luckily you got the position. So you work there like 8 to 5. It's a little hard, but you really like it because people like you, and then they really like your food. So you feel like you are a good person. I'm a valuable person in this society. So those are more like a self-esteem, feeling positive about yourself. And next level is self-actualization. Those are more like a way becoming the older process too, starting from biological need and stage to the up to self-actualization underline. That's really key word of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So he believed all the human beings, we have those purpose to our life, kind of keep set up our goal and going toward that self-actualization. So finding out who you truly are and do your best to reach your goal. Yeah, I guess that's really cool because I have my purpose of my life and it can be, teaching for me. So I want to teach well for the students and maybe help them to be successful. Yeah, for maybe their job and graduation. And I feel really good too because they may appreciate my teaching and it can be by part of self-actualization. So becoming the person you have the potential to become. So Daniel, I know you're students and you're working hard at the same time, full-time job and full-time students. So you do have your own purpose of your life, which is like a self-actualization. You have your maybe goal and toward in that way. You feel like that's your purpose of your life. Yeah. So would you like to share if you don't mind? Yeah. What would it be? What would it be?
I just think I have the potential, to become a nurse and help others.
Yeah.
But I mean, I won't know until I actually finish school whether I can. But I feel like I can.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that part would be the self actualization. Is once I
Yes.
actually get through with nursing.
Yes, yes, very good. So I guess the becoming a nurse can be part of your the self-actualization because you really want to help other people and serve other people, and also you can make money through those work too. I mean, you can be maybe other position, maybe become a doctor and nurse, and even become a teacher and professor. But that's your kind of ultimate self-actualization, right? You really want to be a person who can help other people and maybe try to let them be successful, right? Yeah. So after that, that was the only original Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And later on, he added one more. Those are self transcendence. thinking about when you live in this world, maybe over 50 and 60, you realize life is so short. And then, you feel like where I was coming from and where I'm going to. Because my life is only 20 maybe years left and 10 years left. So thinking about some connection between you and another world and universe. It can be God, it can be even like another, like an alien, or it can be another some, property. So you do not know. It doesn't need to be like a human being, but you realize there's some like a creator, and maybe there's a connection between human beings and us and other, more kind of above us. Because there are so many things we can explain with our own, short knowledge, right? So people kind of seeking for the next, death level of like life. Yeah, some of them more kind of religiously kind of thinking about in that direction, but not necessarily in this self-transcendence. Those are connecting to something beyond yourself. So you realize my life is very finite. There should be some, like more than me, like kind of connecting to the more powerful being. It can be God. Usually, maybe we are thinking about creator, God, or maybe different kind of area of the world. So try to connect. And part of that is I maybe reach my self-actualization. I want to help other people reach the self-actualization. So those are in the upper part of self-transcendence. So thinking about peak experience and flow experience. Those are very similar concept, but flow means whenever you have your enjoyable activities. So thinking about, do you like reading books and maybe go fishing, maybe even go shopping, maybe go, maybe you do study. Have you ever noticed you really indulging kind of, do whatever you do, and you realize the time goes so fast. Maybe you're reading book only 10 minutes, you feel like, but you already passed like 2 hours, something like that. So thinking about when did you experience your flow? Yeah, flow. And so through those flow experience, did you hit those in a moment? Like a peak experience, like a very relaxing and reaching like, wow, this is the, maybe I can kind of experience of the maybe joy of reading, maybe joy of maybe studying. Yeah. So have you ever experienced those flow or maybe peak experience? Then what was your activities and
Reading could be that. Because
reading?
if I had like a really good book, I would go to bed and I'd start reading, and then I'd look at the time. It'd be 1 a.m. in the morning or later, and I'm
That's
like,
not
oh, I
like
gotta
you.
stop.
Yeah, that's not like you because you try to go back to bed like 9, like at least before
But if
10.
I'm interested in that book, I'm like, just one more chapter. I gotta see what happens next.
Okay,
Just,
okay.
yeah.
So kind of keep reading. So you, I know definitely experience like a flow experience, right? So timeless, even you cannot count how just to go so quickly those time. And honestly, I do not much, I'm not a big fan of reading books, but recently I joined the book club. So I need to read a book, like at least one book per month. And for me, this is like a training, I guess. It has been for my second month. So, each month we have a book and I try to read a book. Maybe I didn't hit those moments yet, like a flow or maybe peak experience. I'm reading and sometimes the story is here and there. I try to, comprehend the whole story, but I wish I could experience just like you, those flow experience during reading books. So thank you so much. Okay, so those are interesting. So in order to reaching those in the self-transcendence, you need to starting from the biological need, hunger, cancers, and then go to next and next. Okay, so one of the thing is, we have motivation to eat because that's a really big part of our life. We need to survive, right? And I know depending on you, some of you may eat for stress relieving activity. And you may eat because it's a survivor. So you try to very least amount of food and try to kind of keep fit in your body. Or maybe some of you just enjoy eating overall. So sometimes you feel like I'm obese, maybe overweight. Yeah. So how about you, Daniel? For me, I love eating. And if I maybe get stressed out, I eat lots of junk food, which is not good. But at that moment, it's feeling good, like maybe stress relieving at that moment. But I regret. But how about you, Daniel? Eating?
I don't know. I feel like if I get bored, I'll eat just to
Okay.
just because. Well, I mean, everybody loves food,
Kind
but
of
like if I'm bored and I'm at work or something, I'll go get me a Butterfingers.
Okay,
Or, just and start eating some snacks that I probably shouldn't be eating that often, but.
Yeah, yeah. So when you feel bored, you kind of keep munching.
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like whenever I feel stressed out, I eat, and I really like the chips and, like a little candies and chocolate, and kind of keep eating countlessly. So, I should count maybe calorie or maybe think about, all the fat, but just kind of keep eating. Yeah. And yeah, I even do not think about how much I ate the whole the popcorn. Yeah. So it can be relating with when we eat certain food and when we stop eating food, it's a hormones. So our body recognize and also release those hormones. Underlying two hormones, underlying leptin. Leptin is signals of feeling of fullness. So whenever you feel full, maybe we should stop there. But honestly, for me, even though I feel full, I kind of keep eating if it is my favorite food. Maybe let's just say maybe hamburger. Yeah, maybe half of the hamburger I feel already full. But I just kind of keep eating and finishing my whole hamburger because I really like the taste. And after that, I feel really, really full. Even I cannot walk well. Have you ever, experienced in that way? Your body give you signal. You're full. Don't eat food anymore. But keep eating, right?
I always told my mom that I have two stomachs, one for meals and one for dessert. Because she'd be like, I thought you said you were full. Well, I am, but I still have room for, dessert.
Yes, yes. That's us. But imagine, biology, those researchers, they try to do, because they cannot do experiment with a human being, but they did with some mice. There are lots of mice. So one of the mouse, they kind of knock out those hormone, those leptin part. So guess what? That mouse is keep eating and eating and eating because doesn't have those signal, fullness of those food. So rest of the mice, they are just kind of growing just typical amount of those body weight, but intentionally knock out those leptin part. Those mouse become very obese and obese and obese. So if maybe as a human being, your maybe leptin as a hormone doesn't maybe work well, maybe doesn't secrete properly, probably you keep eating and eating and eating. Maybe you need to talk to the doctor. Possibility is there. Because everybody feel when we eat certain food, a certain amount of food, we feel full and we cannot eat anymore. But somehow maybe it doesn't work for you. The hormone maybe doesn't secrete appropriately. You just kind of keep eating and eating and eating. Yeah, so that's a part of those. And ghrelin is signals of feelings of hunger. So when you feel hungry and you need to eat food, yeah, those are opposite hormone. And let's talk about set point and settling point. Have you ever tried to lose weight, Daniel? No, yeah. Me too. Honestly, I mean, starting from very young age, I just kind of eat food whatever I want to and whenever I want to. So I guess, I really like to eating food, but maybe not eat too much, I guess. I happen to be biologically, my parents are also like petite. So maybe a certain amount of food makes me happy and just kind of stop there. But sometimes I feel like maybe I want to have some diet because when I was in college, my friends, they say, Sarah, I'm on a diet. I do not eat those, pizza or maybe some fatty food. But still, I just kind of eat whatever I want. So honestly, I didn't have that moment, as maybe college students, very kind of thin body shape. My body shape is always very similar. Obviously, I gained lots of weight comparing to my college year, but not much like a fluctuated. But I know losing weight is really hard. Recently, I tried to lose a little bit of weight, but it's not easy. I try to not to eat at a certain point, like after 8, after 7 p.m. I mean, I should not eat after 8 p.m., right? But sometimes I have some craving for the chips and, some fruit I want to still eat, right? And also, I try to adjust my weight on Monday through Friday, but Saturday and Sunday is my cheating day. And somehow I kind of measure my weight. And although you did a great job Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday you eat lots of food, you just kind of go back to your your weight. So it's not easy. That's the example of a set point and settling point. Our body remember and try to make a good homeostasis. Yeah. So let's say your weight is 150 pounds, 150, and you try to do your best in maybe a couple of weeks, maybe at least like try to maybe 1 week, yeah, not to eat after 7 and maybe eating healthier food, maybe fruit and vegetables. So you lost a little bit of weight, but whenever you do not do those regular diet and stop and maybe eating just like before, you are gaining so much weight. I mean, so quickly. So our body have those settling point and set point. Try to kind of adjusting the similar weight. So you may kind of lose 145, but it's easy to bump into 150 so quickly. And even though you ate a lot, somehow you kind of keep for a while, 150 and 55, and then you will kind of, bump it those, over 160. So those are maybe explanation of a set point and settling point. Thermostat analogy. So what is your home temperature, Daniel? My home temperature will be 75 and 76, yeah. Kind of 74. Okay, yeah, 74 is a little cold to me, but when you set up the 74, it doesn't matter the environment. You're kind of in a your room temperature. You try to set up your thermostat. Try to kind of adjust those temperatures 74, no matter of the outside temperature, right? So our body, once we have a certain weight for a while, it's really hard to lose weight. Yeah, because we try to make those good balance of our body. Unless you make a decision not to eat all the junk food and eat healthy for at least for 3 weeks. That's what I heard. So you can change your body kind of system. Yeah, but it's challenging. So thrift gene hypothesis means in ancient time our ancestors, we didn't have much food. So once you have maybe go fishing and you got a big fish, you need to eat a lot because you are not sure when you can eat those fish again. Maybe it can be 1 month later, maybe it can be 6 months later. So whenever you have a chance to eat fat food, kind of little fatty food like a meat and maybe fish, maybe some those food, you want to eat more and more, kind of saving for the later. So human being, we have a tendency, we really love some greasy food, like some fried food and pizza and maybe French fries. So do you like those fried food, Daniel? Kind of little fatty food? Yeah, yeah, me too. But I know some of you really like vegetables and fruits. I mean, I do love, vegetables and fruit, but if there's only two choice, maybe I will go to maybe fried food. So those are maybe our human being, we have those thrift gene, try to save those fatty food for the later time, and we have a tendency to prepare and choose more fatty, more greasy, and maybe not that good, but it tastes good food, like a more fried food. Okay, so since we've been talking about eating, let's talk about those, freshman 15. Have you ever heard about like a freshman 15? So when you become a freshman, you will gain 50 pounds more. No. So let's talk about this. It can be good, maybe your reflection paper topic. So Daniel, if you don't mind, could you read this? Mm-hmm.
What's your take? Part 2. The research indicates that although the freshman 15 is more fiction than fact, it is true that college students consistently gain slight amounts of weight over the 4-year period. So far, does that appear true for yourself and your friends? When weight gain does happen to college students, why does it happen? What factors contribute to most of it? And what can you do about them?
Okay, good. So, do you see any like maybe are you gaining weight or maybe losing weight? You become a college student,
Like I'm
anything like
gaining a little bit of weight now just
uh-huh.
because my metabolism is starting to actually slow down.
Okay.
But like, you know, it took a long time.
Uh-huh.
Is if I had went straight out of high school to college, I don't think I would have put on much weight. I
Uh-huh.
went to the army instead, and I put on about 30 pounds in 4 months.
Oh wow,
I didn't
wow.
even know it was possible. Because
Wow.
you do the research and they say 1 to 2 pounds of muscle a month, and
Uh-huh.
I joined basic training weighing 121 pounds, a couple pounds short of being too underweight to
Uh-huh.
join.
Yeah.
Went up to 155 when I got out.
Because you have a regular meal and exercise and
Working
all
out and
workout
food,
and
good food, healthy food. They force you to eat good, but my
Uh-huh.
metabolism was so slow I can't gain weight. But now I'm starting to now that I'm in college.
Okay. So it's kind of a little different story, but if you want to share, you can choose this topic and explain about
Mm-hmm.
your metabolism and is it maybe I do not think so. Maybe think about
When
in that
had you
time.
say that was due? I know it's posted. I just forgot already.
I think the I can those are around exam 3. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I will
So I
let
got
you
a
know
little
for
bit of
sure. Yeah,
time.
you have a
Okay.
time. You have a time about maybe 3 to 4. Yeah.
I've read about
weeks.
it. I don't want it to catch up on me.
Yeah, but for sure, I will make sure the exact day this Thursday. Let you know. You can check on your through the blackboard too, but I will let you know. So if it is your topic, you can talk about it. I know you're a high schooler, but maybe you can kind of share about is there any moment you want to lose weight and it was successful or not? You can kind of modify that topic with the eating and maybe your stress in that way. That's okay too. If you want to talk about your eating habit and try to maybe go on a diet and losing weight, was it successful? Was it not? Maybe you can talk about that topic. Okay, good. So before we go to emotion, this is like an interesting kind of maybe little station. Maybe those are all the breakfast, or maybe it can be lunch and dinner cereal. Maybe recognize your favorite one. So number one, Captain Crunch. Anybody you like Captain Crunch? You like it? How about Pebbles? Like a little
Fruity
colorful,
Pebbles?
yeah,
Love
fruity.
'em.
You love them. Reese's Puff, that's my kind of favorite.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, good. Honeycomb,
Yeah.
that's those honey shape. I like it too.
Definitely.
S'mores, I've never tried the s'mores. It's not that good.
It just tastes chemically.
Oh, okay.
Marshmallow.
Oh, marshmallow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sounds like maybe s'more and a little bit of, but
Yeah.
and I know the cinnamon crunch, toasted crunch. I like that too. Yeah, with milk and taste is good. And Trix is like a circle and colorful. Those
I don't know if I've ever really had tricks.
Trix. Those are all the rainbow color. A little bit of those round shape of cereal.
Yeah, I know what it is.
The taste
I
is
just
like
haven't
exactly
tried it.
Pebbles, but Pebbles is like a kind of cornflake kind of shape.
Yeah.
But those are round shape. Those are tricks. Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
So Lucky
They're
Charms
alright.
has some heart shape of marshmallow and other,
Mm-hmm.
some cereals, right? Golden Grahams.
Ew.
So I cannot think of a difference right now. Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Golden Grahams. Very similar taste, no? Little different.
Yeah, except there's no cinnamon and sugar on the golden graham. It's just more like a
Cornflake.
graham cracker
Oh,
with a
okay.
little bit of sugar on it.
I see. I
Yeah,
see.
it's good, but it's not nearly as good as cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah. So Fruit Loops is it's a circle, but like a Cheerio kind of circle.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. So I guess that's pretty much. And what is your favorite among those? If you need to choose only one.
Probably Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerio? Yeah, I haven't had it for a long time. Maybe this weekend, maybe I need to get
I
those.
love some Honey Nut Cheerios, but overall, I love all cereals.
All Cheerios. Have you
I'll eat
ever
some
tried the Crave? They
Yeah.
have some chocolate, and
It's
I
good.
love those.
Yeah, Crave's
Usually,
good.
I have those one not as a breakfast, just like a snack, like
Yeah,
chocolate
yeah.
in here. Like
They're
I just
good
have
for
it.
sure.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, but it was like a kind of taking a little break here. So let's go to emotion this time. We've been talking about motivation and emotion. So when you're thinking about emotion, oh, it's just like a feeling. But based on the researchers and scholars, emotion is not just your simple feeling. Emotion is relating with your physiological reaction, biological reaction, and your cognition and your feeling effect, yeah, and also your action too. So before you coming here, I know you took another class and you came here. How was your emotion, your kind of feeling, or anything else?
At the beginning, a little worried just because it's a lab midterm that I did this morning.
Oh, okay, okay.
But once it got going, I was relieved.
Okay, okay. Good. Which is good because once you get here, maybe emotion can be more agitated and more nervous, but you can somehow you kind of calm down and it may be okay. I have another exam, so maybe you can make up, right? Yeah, which is good. So all aspect of feeling, including changes to the body, your body. So thinking about you're very nervous, butterflies in your stomach and, when you're nervous and maybe sweating a little bit, physiological reaction, yeah, sweating, and also maybe you feel like a thirsty too, yeah. So all the physiological body and behavior and consciousness too, somehow you're frozen. You cannot think well because you're so nervous and fearful those moments. So there are scholars theories about how do we feel those emotions. So number one is James Lange theory, and second is Cannon-Bard theory, and third one is Tetcher and Singer theory, and last one is cognitive appraisal. So we will go see one by one, but I will show the pictures so you can understand more easily. So thinking about that, that's the situation. Imagine you have a cell phone, and somebody accidentally spilled the water over your on top of your cell phone, and actually your cell phone doesn't waterproof. Yeah, so it's really that urgent moment. So how would you feel, Daniel, if it is the situation?
I mean, at first I'd be like, oh no, why did I do that? Or, oh man. But then I'd be like, my phone's waterproof, so. iPhones are pretty waterproof now, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah, but I guess what if your phone is not waterproof?
It would just be, worried because it's expensive. It's an expensive device.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. I mean, I'm okay with not having my phone for a little while, but I don't want to spend $1,000 again.
Yeah, it's really expensive now. Yeah, I need to change my phone. It has been for maybe 7 to 8 years, and I have only one camera. So I really that indicates a lot, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because right now it's 3 cameras. I mean, at least you need to have 2, but I have one camera, but it's still working. So I need to, because sometimes it doesn't work. Those touchy kind of pad thing. So I need to maybe thinking of buying one. But imagine that's the situation. Your phone maybe doesn't have a waterproof function, and somebody accidentally spilled the water on your phone, and then you're like a panic mode, right? So if you're thinking about, what should I do? All my information is on my phone, right? So you feel like physiological reaction wise, you feel maybe your face turn red because it's really maybe worrying about whole situation, and your heartbeat goes up because what should I do? I don't have much money to buy the new one. Maybe thinking about those, but physiological reaction first. So maybe heartbeat goes up and then sweating because it's really some scary moment, and then you feel I feel fearful and nervous and angry. Yeah. So physiological reaction first, and then you feel angry, fearful, and embarrassed. Yeah, those are James Lange theory. So think about it. Yeah, that's the James Lange theory. Cannon-Bard is at the same time. Whenever you see those moments, water is spilling on my phone, but my phone doesn't waterproof. And those are at the same time. So your heartbeat goes up, your face turns red, and you feel like so sad and maybe fearful and worried about content of my phone at the same time. Those are Cannon-Bard theory. And the third one is interesting. Tetcher and Singer is how would you label those physiological reaction? Depending on that, maybe you may feel different emotion. So when you're kind of looking at that situation, your heartbeat goes up, yeah, and your face turned red, And the number one physiological reaction and your interpretation, bless you, will be scared, fearful, angry. Yeah? And the other one is when you label your physiological reaction, which is turning red and maybe heartbeat goes up, maybe interpret, oh, excited. Finally, I can get a new phone. So, if you evaluate, label the bodily reaction, those sweating and maybe turning your face red, depending on that, it can be joyful and excitement, your emotion, versus sad and mad. Yeah, depending on how would you evaluate your physiological reaction, it can be sad moment and it can be joyful moment. Yeah, so that's their theory. Last one is they do not care about physiological reaction much. They only concern about cognitive appraisal. Oh, it's something happened in front of me. Do you feel fearful and maybe anxious and worry about it? Or you feel like excited? Oh, finally I can get a new phone. Yeah. So depending on that, only thought about those, cognitive appraisal, thinking about that situation, do not consider physiological reaction. So which theory kind of makes sense to you, Daniel?
I mean, I would say the Schachter Singer one,
Okay.
or the
Schachter
cognitive appraisal too, because I think your brain really does like how you feel about it. Obviously, if you don't feel scared of a certain animal or whatever or something, that shows up, then you're not going to have that thought, and that's not going to send that hormone, and that's not going to determine your feeling if you don't have that thought.
I see.
But I mean that I feel like both those could go together. The
Okay, very good.
Schachter Singer.
Yeah, so I feel like my understanding is Daniel really emphasize our cognitive, decision. How do we, making a decision about that, moment, right? So physiological reaction will be there, but I guess you will evaluate, kind of label your physiological reaction. It can be either good or bad.
Yeah.
But final decision will be your cognition.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at two different people and one person cares more about their phone than the other person, and the same thing happens to both of them, the one that cares more is probably going to react differently than the person that doesn't care more, and that has to do with the thought stimulus.
Very good. Because both of them having maybe same physiological reaction, maybe heartbeat goes up, right?
Yeah.
But maybe they may feel differently.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. I like it. So maybe I can kind of talk a little bit about, we already talked about it, but since you're into more Schachter and Singer and cognitive appraisal theory, so interesting thing is they did lots of experiments. With some vitamin water. So it's not vitamin water. They kind of put some epinephrine, which is when you take those in the water, you feel like some arousal, feeling like your body arousal, which is your heartbeat goes up, your body turns a little kind of red because of those little bit of kind of fever influence. So you kind of put the people like a participant in one room and the other room. And you have two confederate. So confederate is your experimenter too, right? But they are kind of pretend, just like one of the participants. So one of the room and the other room, there are two different rooms, and you kind of having different set of people. And then let them drink those epinephrine, those a special some ingredient drink, and just kind of say, oh, this is like a vitamin water. Let's have it and talk about some topic, right? And then when all the participants drink those water, they feel like a little arousal. It's not that bad, but feeling like a little heartbeat goes up and your body comes feeling warm and like a little kind of stuffy feeling. So one room as a confederate, which is like experimenters say, I feel so good. My heartbeat go up and I feel giddy. Yeah, it's very happy moment, giddy moment. So let other participants kind of write down their feeling right now. And the other room, it's the same physical reaction and physiological, those reactions. So they feel like a heartbeat goes up and their body feeling warm and a little red. And, those in a confederate kind of acting differently. I feel mad and sad. Maybe something wrong. Vitamin water, maybe they do maybe something wrong with this. Maybe what this makes me sick. Yeah. So those participants in the same room, let them kind of write down about their emotion. So realize, just like you mentioned, same physiological reaction people can experience, but depending on how do they label those physiological reaction, there are much more participants say happy and giddy versus sad and mad, the other part, even though same ingredient of those vitamin water. So I guess it's their kind of point. It's their point. But try to understand, like a James Lange theory is physiological reaction first, and then you feel like an emotion. And Cannon-Bard is more like at the same time. And Setcher and Singer is, we do those physiological reaction and then label. How do you label? Positively and negatively, depending on your labeling cognition part, it can be different feeling. And the last one is does not think about physiological reaction, only consider those that situation, making a decision with your brain. Yeah, those are the last one. Okay, so looking at this, I like this one personally, underline, facial feedback theory. So their theory is facial expressions can cause emotions. So Daniel, do you smile a lot? Just curious. Yeah. So that's good. That's good. Based on their theory, if you do smile more, probably you may feel happier. But we know happy people, they may smile more. That more makes sense. But actually, based on their theory, if you smile more, you may feel happier. That's their conclusion. So what did they do as an experiment is, if you're looking at here, it's the same person. By the way, it's the same person. The left is like a pout, kind of putting your mouth and those in a pencil, yeah. And then reading your cartoon. Yeah, they kind of provide some cartoon, very kind of funny cartoon, and reading those cartoon. And same cartoon, yeah. Right now you kind of put your mouth more like happy, kind of smiling, yeah, position and reading those cartoon. And they kind of measure the funniest. Which when you kind of read pout versus like a smiling face, what's the content like? So participants say whenever they kind of having those smiling facial position, they feel more like those cartoon content is more funnier. And they did lots of other experiments too. So those are based on the facial expression, right? Certain kind of little mad and sad versus like a happier kind of smiling face. Those are facial expression make you even content better, feeling like a more funnier. So they do believe when you make some smiling face, Daniel, could you give me your smiling face? Okay. Yeah, good. So smiling face, when you smile, our brain recognizes that as a, like a happy feeling. So kind of emphasize those happiest feeling and then give like a good connection of eventually you feel like a happier. So it's really interesting. I do believe happy people, they may smile more, but even though you are not that happy at that moment, if you're making some smiling face, facial expression, your brain recognizes that as a smiling, as a happy moment. Because brain gets some signal from your facial expression. So that means we need to smile more than those pouting and maybe sad facial expression. So I guess we do need to smile more based on facial feedback theory. If you're looking at here, can you recognize those facial emotion expression? The first one. Angry. The second one.
Mad. Sad or mad.
Sad, mad. How about the third one?
Yikes, bewildered, I don't know.
Okay. Kind of, shock, yeah?
Yeah,
How
shock.
about the fourth one?
Smile, happy.
Yeah, happy. How about the fifth one?
I don't know.
Yeah, disgusting, maybe, yeah? How about the last one?
Bewildered.
Yeah, surprise, yeah. Those are 6 kind of basic, emotion, expression of emotion. It's more like a universal. So when you live in the Korea and maybe Africa and European country, people, when you feel happy, you do smile. And when you feel sad, maybe some sad facial expression, and maybe surprising and maybe shocking and fearful, very similar facial expression. But one thing can be different, researchers found. Probably expression, the intensity of expressing emotion can be varied. So for example, I was growing up in South Korea, more Asian country. My parents, they really encouraged me to like a positive emotion. Smiling is always welcome. But whenever I feel mad and sad, they always correct me, my emotion. Sarah, it's not that sad. Or maybe you shouldn't mad that much, you know. So they really make me more like having positive emotion. But honestly, sometimes we need to cry and we need to mad and express our feeling freely, right? Yeah. So basically, there's like a research is done, Asian country and culture kind of less emotion intensity wise, less intensity comparing to European or maybe American culture. So what do you think about it, Daniel? So when you kind of growing up in your family, where you kind of freely express your mad emotion and sad emotion versus like happy emotion, and how was allowance of expressing your emotion? Just wondering.
Oh, I don't know. I think other people's emotions wear off on you. You know, I mean, it's just like if somebody keeps complaining around you, it's gonna make the whole ordeal, you know, aggravating. So like stuff rubs off on you, of course. So if you got a bunch of anger or a bunch of happiness around you, you know, you're gonna tend to feel that bit of happiness or that bit of anger. So yeah, I could see that.
Okay. So you feel like when you were young, did your parents kind of encourage you to express both kind of positive and negative emotion?
Yeah, like
equally?
just like the saying, "Don't cry over spilt milk." You know, you kind of build around what they're supposed to react to and how they're supposed to react to it. Because you know, you're not supposed to get angry and lash out at somebody. You know, you're supposed to teach those type of emotions to kids.
Like emotion regulation. Okay, good. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so this is your in-class assignment too. So since Daniel is here with me, I can give you the paper. That's the in-class assignment too. So we can do it now. This is like a little old page number, so I just kind of erase the due date. But basically, we want to think about, since we've been talking about emotion and motivation, so how can we maximize positive emotion in our life? So perform acts of kindness. And second is write letters of gratitude. I'm thankful for, at least 3 things you need to mention. And count your blessings. At least 3 things you need to mention. At least 3 things. Count your blessings. And last one is underline. Visualize a bright future. That's really important. Maybe right now you are a high school student and maybe you're a college student, but I know you have your own dream career and maybe dream job, and you need to put visualization for your future. And maybe one day I will become a nurse, and thinking about that. So last one is, if you want to do, you can draw, visualizing your like a future. Maybe you can draw a teacher, you can draw a medical doctor, you can draw maybe nurse, and you can maybe even draw like a stick figure, and then you kind of indicate, that's nurse, that's me, it's okay. Or you may take a picture, kind of indicating your future, bright future. Or you can find some good, nice photo from the Google, and maybe you can kind of attach like a Google Photos. That's okay too. But that's an assignment. It's a 20 points. So you need to do last one. Everybody, you need to choose visualize a bright future and explain to me. And then you can choose one of those 3. So maybe you can choose perform act of kindness and visualize a bright future. Or you choose write letters of gratitude and visualize a bright future. Or you can choose count your blessing and visualize a bright future. So you need to include visualize your bright future, and you may choose one of those. So it's not that hard, but this is a great moment. You can thinking about what you really want to be and what would be your dream job and your bright future. So visualize. That's really important. You have your purpose of your life and you kind of seek through that direction. And even though now you are very not good status, which is maybe you're really struggling, your grade and your health issue, maybe your family issue, but still you should not give up your dream. You need to visualize your dream and kind of keep thinking. So please draw or maybe please take some picture, maybe from some Google image, attach on your paper and upload your paper. That's the in-class assignment too. Yeah. So if you're watching my lecture, make sure upload your those in-class assignment too. But you need to include the second part, which is visualize a bright future. So I will wait a little bit because Daniel is trying to do right now. So this is not my opinion, by the way. Those are researcher based. There are lots of researches done. Positive psychologists, they try to being like interesting about human beings' well-being and positive emotion. And so far, they make a conclusion. If you perform act of kindness, be kind to other people, you will feel much positive and feeling like well, yeah, and good feeling. So maybe those perform acts of kindness kind of increase, maximize your positive feelings, emotion. And second one is, write letters of gratitude or gratitude journal, like a journaling. At least thinking about 3 things per day and journal every day. It doesn't need to be really long sentence. Maybe you can say, I'm very thankful for my meal, and I'm very thankful for my friends, and maybe very thankful for my car so I can drive, come to school. Yeah, that's totally okay. But for our assignment, if you can maybe write a little bit more than that, that would be great. But if you want to do like a gratitude journaling for every day, that's good enough. For 3 things per day, maybe for 3 weeks and 1 month, it's totally changing your life, the attitude toward your life and vision toward your life. So there are lots of researches done, experimental way, writing, gratitude journal, 3 things per day, maybe for 1 month, it changes your life. Yeah, so that's the part of write letters of gratitude. Maybe this is a great time. Maybe choose one person. Maybe it can be your mom, it can be your dad, it can be your school teacher, maybe it can be your roommate, it can be your uncle, it can be your sister, maybe brother, and writing down how much I appreciate your help, how much I appreciate your meal, and how much I appreciate your encouragement. So if you don't need to send a letter, that would be great, but if you can email them or you can text them, that would be really cool. And they really appreciate how much you think of themselves. So I guess that's the write letters of gratitude and count your blessings. I know so many things you can write. Yeah. So at least maybe 5 things. If you choose that one, at least 5 things for the count your blessings. And the last one, you should choose that one. Everybody should choose that one. Visualize a bright future. I'm really looking forward to seeing your drawing or photos, maybe explanations. So it can be really cool activity. So please do that. It's 20 points. Okay. So since Daniel is here, I want to ask him, I know you're going to choose visualize a bright future. Among those 3, which one would you choose?
I did the first one,
Okay.
make other people happy, include
Okay.
with whom, what, how in detail.
Yeah, perform acts of kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. I have several maybe life mottos, and one of my motto is because I kind of read somewhere else, spread kindness like wildflowers. I really like that phrase. So that's my kind of, motto. We need to be kind to each other, and we do not know that person maybe kind of go through maybe bad day and good day. So try to be nice to each other and be kind to each other. That's one of my motto too. But I think I saw that phrase, spread kindness like wildflowers. And also I read spread kindness like confetti. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of, read those phrases, but I really love it. Yeah, I love it. So basically that's the perform acts of kindness. So Daniel is focusing on those perform acts of kindness. So, you can write down about, what did you do for the other people, or maybe you are going to do certain things this weekend. You are going to do maybe certain things for the next week. That's okay too. So it can be planning, or it can be you already done, and then share with us. Okay. Daniel, are you enjoying like a drawing, or maybe not even?
I mean, I don't mind drawing.
don't mind
I'm not
drawing?
good at it, but I definitely
You like
draw.
you don't mind. That's good. That's good. At least you don't mind. That's a really key point, because sometimes I think drawing is good. I did some research about like our life and maybe some college experience with drawing journey, which is like one of the qualitative research method, writing your drawing, your kind of journey of become a college student, maybe become a mom and become a teacher. So those are journey map. So we are gonna do that journey map next chapter. I mean, this is like a last slide of this chapter, chapter 8, and next chapter is developmental psychology, lifespan development. We are gonna use journey map methodology to think about your life. So drawing, be ready. I like the drawing. I mean, I'm not good at drawing, just like Daniel kind of mentioned and shared with us. But I really like to try new things, and it can be fun. I used to draw a lot when I was young, but not much, like a drawing. But it can be cool and interesting project to you. So since Daniel is drawing, maybe we can talk another topic while you are drawing too. So I want to ask you, Daniel, can money make you happy?
No, not by itself, but yeah, I mean, it can, but not really at the
Not
same
really.
time. It's kind of, it
Okay.
depends.
Yeah.
If I had a bunch of money but nobody to, spend it with, don't really matter.
Yeah. So it can be the question. Maybe I need to ask this question little differently. Researchers and research kind of findings kind of support that. I mean, we need money. I mean, I need money, and Daniel need money, and every student we need money. And as a high school student, you feel like I wish I could have lots of money to go to college and maybe pursue my career and my hobby, and maybe I need more money. I mean, that's a totally understandable, yeah. But I guess once if we are struggling, like eating, because of money you cannot support your daily eating, and maybe you cannot go to school because you don't have gas money. It can be really big problem, and money really does make you not happy because of those essential and biological, even like a need, right? Eating food. And so money can be really matter when you do not have those, basic, essential kind of part of those, needs, right? But once you make money over those, so you have your car. I mean, it's not brand new and luxury car, but if you have a car and you can kind of drive somewhere else, wherever you want to go, right? And you have a food to eat every day, you can kind of support you. And you have a house, even though it's a small house, you can kind of go home daily and then take a break, take a rest over there, and then invite people, yeah, and hanging out with other people. After that, money is not a big matter. That's, researchers kind of find it out. We need the money until we kind of support us more like an essential thing. But I realize, depending on us, essential things can be different, right? Maybe some of you, my essential thing is I need to have a big and cool car and maybe big gigantic mansion, and then I need to have at least bunch of friends, and then maybe after that money doesn't matter, versus very essential things that makes me happy already. I mean, after that it's an extra. So depending on, but generally speaking, once we make money, until we kind of satisfy our essential needs, like a living fee, money doesn't make us happy. So I want to ask you then, what would make you happy if money doesn't make you happy?
Just family and friends, pretty
Okay.
much.
Yeah, more
Because
like
that's
a
what I put down pretty
Okay.
much for my visualize a bright future. I want to be able to get a job that I can help other people out, have something different to do every
Sure.
single day, and to help support my family that I'll have in the future, which will be a wife and some kids and
Yeah.
a dog, and I put a house and a car and
Yeah.
a barn and a pond to fish out of because I kind
Yes.
of want a farm going. And then, of course, I threw a dog on there because I want my golden retriever, maybe a couple golden retrievers. But
Okay.
anyway, just somebody to spend my life with, pretty
Sure,
much.
sure. Like a social, those element is really matter.
Yeah.
And that's a really good point too, because later on, longevity. People who have a longer life and better life and well-being, number one was not health. Number one was social relationship.
Yeah.
Social gathering. Those are family and friends. So if you have a family and friends, keep touching each other and try to talk each other, that's the number one factor. You will live a longer life. So I think you got a right answer, Daniel. Yeah. So if you don't mind, could you share a little bit, like a perform act of kindness, and did you do maybe certain kindness activity?
Yeah, I just put I can make my family happy by spending more time with my mom, dad, and sister, and my
Okay.
brother. Pretty much just all my family.
Yeah.
Said here lately for like the last 6 years, I've been focused on school and work for too much, and not spending as much quality time as I can with family, or
Yeah.
not really any at all. It's really hard to in the Army.
Sure,
And then
sure.
right now I'm working 5 days a week and 2 days full time school. So. Yep, I just put spending quality time with my family, and I'd like to let my family in on more of what's going on in my life, and going to my mom's and eating dinner and talking about stuff like we used to.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah. So any maybe plan, maybe this weekend, maybe next weekend, maybe you wanna visit your parents' house and kind of surprise
Maybe at some
them.
point, I'm just really busy.
Yeah, kind of surprise them. Yeah, that would be cool.
7 days a week,
7
don't give
days.
me much time to study for school. So usually I'm studying for school in the evening, so I really
see,
don't have
I
a whole
see.
lot of time to do
Yeah.
stuff.
Can I suggest you? Why don't you text her? She will be really happy for those.
Yeah, I mean, I can text her and call her, but I think I really need to actually be involved, like actually go over there and spend time, because I'm not a huge texter or a caller, but I don't
But
know.
maybe your mom will be really appreciate, maybe kind of a little surprise, because usually do not text and call her because you're so busy.
Yeah.
But maybe mom, I just want to say thank you. While we be having
Oh,
fun.
I do
Yeah,
that.
maybe she will be really happy for those. I mean, that's my
Come over,
suggestion.
just come over and eat some dinner at her house or something here and there
Yeah.
when I can.
That would be cool. Yes. Thank you for sharing. So I'm excited to see your drawing. If you don't mind,
Yeah,
can I
right.
just kind of pick on you?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can take a peek at
Okay,
it.
good. Okay, wow. I mean, you draw very well. If you don't mind, I can kind of show
It's
you a
not
little
that
bit.
good.
It's really cool. Yeah. So you're planning only one child?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, okay. And your dog is right here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So your dog is really important, part in your life. I can tell because your dog is the biggest, like a head comparing
Yeah,
to other family
I can't
members.
draw a dog very well, so I just did how I knew how to draw the dog.
Yeah, very good, very good. Even you have a flowers and nice
And a
house. I like
pond
it.
and
Yeah,
a car.
pond and fishes right here.
Yeah.
And what is this?
It's a barn, but I couldn't
Oh, it's
draw
a
I
barn.
couldn't
Okay.
draw the fence around it. I don't know how to
Yeah,
draw.
it's a whole, like your whole
I was
barn
gonna
right
draw pigs and cows, but I couldn't do
Oh.
that either. So.
here. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I will update your point. Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
Okay, so that was our chapter 8, motivation and emotion. Let's go to the next chapter. Oh, sorry. Okay. So in this chapter, we will talk about development across the lifespan, which is like a chapter 9, developmental psychology and lifespan development. Those are one semester long content. So from now on, like a social psychology, developmental psychology, personality, those are one semester long kind of content, yeah, each of those. But I need to handle like a one chapter. So I tried kind of focusing on interesting factors about developmental psychology, social psychology, personality. So it will be really fun. It will be really fun. So today we will begin a little bit, and this Thursday we will cover more. So here I will give you a paper since Daniel drew very well. This is a great opportunity for you. Any your favorite colors you want to choose? You want to green. Okay, good. So this chapter, we will talk about big questions about developmental psychology and development before birth, pregnancy. So have you ever heard about like a prenatal education? So before birth, when your mom is pregnant, fetus can hear. Have you ever thought about in that one? So maybe we need to teach certain things even before you are born, maybe inside the mom's womb. Prenatal education. Sounds weird, or maybe it makes sense. Kind of cool, or maybe we don't need to. Maybe.
I mean, it makes sense to a point. I mean, the education doesn't have to be like words written out on a paper. It could be, your mom's body is training your body to do things that it should be doing.
Kind of let them hear your voice, and very good. So we will talk about development before birth, which is like a prenatal stages, right? And infancy and childhood. So thinking about developmental psychology, lifespan development is starting from conception, and through death. So you may reflect your life, starting from infant. Probably you do not remember much, but your mom told you infant and early childhood. Did you go to daycare, or maybe like staying home with your sibling, or?
I think I went to daycare until I was about 5.
Okay.
And then after that, my mom, she kind of just did homeschooling and all that until about 5th grade.
Okay, like elementary school, and then junior and high school, you go back to like a public school, and then you go to army, and then now you come back to like as a college student. So the kind of life goes on and on. And if you're thinking about your parents, does your parents kind of in a range or age range wise, age 40, 45, and 60 and 65? In that age?
60, 65.
Okay. So kind of at the end of the middle adulthood. And if you're thinking about your grandma and grandpa, they are older than 65 and, more to like a 70 and 80 and 90, right? So we will talk about starting from conception, like a pregnancy, through death, go to heaven. Those are developmental psychology. So human beings lifespan development. So what will happen? So it's gonna be one semester long, but I try to do maybe 2 classes this Thursday and next Monday. But it will be really fun class, fun topic. So remember, kind of reflect. What did you do when you were infant, when you were early childhood?
You won't catch me remembering anything until about 5.
Yeah, sure. Oh, about 5. So
About 5
you
is
kind
when I
of
start remembering stuff.
your
'Cause
fresh
I-
memories.
Yeah, I was taken from my parents when I was born, and I was put into about 13 different foster homes until I was 5 years old, and then I was adopted. So I
see.
remember like my last foster home,
Okay.
little bits and pieces, and
Okay.
then after that, that's when my memory kind of started.
Okay, I see. Thank you for sharing your personal information. So, I mean, the kind of typically we're thinking about starting from the conception and, pregnancy and toddlerhood and early childhood and, like elementary school. Yeah, those are middle childhood and adolescent. So you think about adolescent, your public school period, junior high and high school, and then college and maybe some army, and those are 18 through 25. Those are special kind of age group, emerging adulthood. Those are early adult group, but emerging kind of between right after adolescent and become an adult, right? More kind of financially independent and kind of working and somewhere else. Those are 18 through 25. And of course, 25 to 40, before 40 and 45, that's just still early adulthood. And after 40 and 45 through 65 and 60, those are middle adulthood. And after that, we kind of categorize as late adulthood. So we will talk about and sharing maybe my experience and Daniel's experience, because Daniel have a memory starting from the age 5. But if you don't mind, I mean, you don't need to share your experience or maybe life, but if it is okay with you, maybe you can kind of share with us, and it will be great. So next one. So what is developmental psychology? I can explain you. It's a lifespan development. So on your paper, if you have a paper at home, maybe if you're watching my lecture, we are going to draw starting from, because I'm going to cover starting from the conception. Yeah, prenatal education. I know some of you don't have a memory. It's okay. You don't need to draw. But maybe you can use some imagination. That's okay too. Maybe you can kind of draw your mom pregnant, you. Yeah, maybe you can kind of draw it. Maybe baby picture. That's okay. Yeah, or maybe starting from the infancy and early childhood. Yeah, because Daniel has a memory starting from the early childhood, like age 5. Maybe it can be some beginning of the kindergarten too, right? Age 5. And kind of draw. Draw means you don't need to draw everything, but certain maybe memorable thing you can kind of draw here. So this is going to be your journey map. So I will kind of show how other people did in my class. So this is like an example, one of the students. Maybe I will kind of confront and then show to you here. This is one is like a drawing baby me and maybe mom and me age 3 and age 8, and try to kind of draw. And this is like here age 14 and age 16, maybe first driving my car, and here graduating my college and go to college. Graduating my high school and go to college, and maybe my future. So you can kind of see it doesn't need to be exactly like there. And this person really enjoyed drawing, and she tried to kind of put lots of effort, and she put like my brother, so even kind of draw her brother and she, and maybe baby born, and then house and little things. So here maybe you can kind of see. So you don't need to do like this, but feel free to express using those journey map. There's no form. I know some of you do not like drawing. It can be okay, just like a stick figure, or maybe kind of word writing. And maybe arrow sign, kind of keep going, arrow sign, that's okay. And if Daniel, if you don't want to share with me, that's okay. You can just keep the journey map, it's okay. But it will be good reflection. kind of think about it, your kind of life story. So those are journey mapping. It doesn't need to be really nice drawing, but you can kind of draw and indicating your baby and infant, early childhood, middle childhood, adolescent, and college, and maybe later on. Yeah, those are journey maps. So we will do those activities today. I mean, starting from this chapter. So if you're thinking about development, what comes into your mind, Daniel? Development. Something developing.
The start of your intelligence, the building upon your intelligence.
Yeah, very good, very good. And do you feel like maybe late adulthood, 70 and 80, do they still develop?
Develop problems.
Very good, very good.
I mean, I feel like 30 is your prime, and then after 30, once you get to about 40, you know, you maintain until a certain age, maybe like 65, 70.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it just starts degenerating stuff.
Yes.
But I don't know.
Very good, very good. So we will talk about it, but even like 70, maybe deteriorating, maybe some developing problems. You're right. But we wanna say that's still developing because life journey is still developing until we go to heaven. So starting from young age to the end, we are still developing. That's a lifelong development. So starting from all the definition, we will talk more this Thursday. Okay? Yeah. Thank you so much, and it will be really fun chapter. Kind of reflect your life. Yeah.